My name is Eric Peterson. I'm in the band Testament, and we're here at Finland, Tuska.
That's right. Thank you for doing an interview with me.
No worries.
I saw you guys at Grass Pop a few days ago in Belgium. What's it like doing these big slogs of European festivals rather than your own tours? Do you find, which one do you enjoy more, or are they just a bit different?
Well, of course, playing the bigger festival shows. This time around, we have a really good crew, and I think that's a big part of having a successful show. We've done shows to where we've kind of not cared about getting the proper crew. Like, you know what? We'll find someone there to do that and do this, and then it's just a nightmare. And you think about it, there's a lot of people out there, and they're seeing the nightmare too. Grass Pop, I don't know what you saw, but for me, it was spot on. The sound was good. I mean, I walked out there, it wasn't like sometimes I panic, I look over and I'm like, what the hell is coming out of the speaker? Like, why is it just a tom? Why can't I hear it was perfect.
Yeah. It's a really well organized festival, isn't it?
Yeah. And it was a good show. It was a lot of fun, and I thought we played good.
Definitely.
We seemed very comfortable. So, yeah.
So did you get a long time to set up and do sound checks and stuff like that here?
We don't. It was more like the crew gets up there and does it, and technology's gotten a lot better. There's this thing going around right now that a lot of guitar players are using, and it's called the Kemper. It's an amplifier, and what it is, it's a profile. It gets profiles of different amplifiers. So therefore, it's not replacing Marshall or Angle or Mesa Boogie or EVH. It's just profiling those sounds, and you have to have those amps to get the sound. So in a way, those companies are probably like, oh fuck, but instead of carrying a big Marshall stack, you got this little, and it's got everything in it.
Wow.
So for traveling and just purposes of playing live, it's just you put it in, you plug it in. You don't have to mic anything because it's a profile, perfect sound of what you want to sound like. And it's spot on, and it's amazing.
So you can set it up before you even leave the studio, your practice studio.
Yeah. I come over here with the USB stick, and you pop it in. You rent one over here. You pop it in. You download all your sounds, all your delays, and you get a tech who knows what they're doing, and it's like a 15-minute thing.
That's awesome.
Instead of
I didn't know that existed.
Andy Studios now.
Andy's the one who turned me on to it. Yeah, exactly. And well, it's funny how, because I'm not really, I like old school stuff. I like the proper knobs, and the last record we were mixing, and he goes, Eric, I want you to take a listen. I got this new amp right here. She told me what it was, and I'm like, it's all digital, whatever. He was just, I'm gonna go back and forth. Here's your real tone. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, that's my tone. And then he goes, okay, look over there, and I'm gonna go back and forth. He goes, okay, here's your tone again. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, no, that's not your tone. So he was kind of confusing me on what is what, but I couldn't tell the difference at all.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. That'll make touring for you much easier, so I can understand.
I'm really giving Kemper some props here.
Yeah. Promotion right there.
But it's not. I mean, it is taking away from the amplifier company thing, but you have to have those amplifiers to get that sound, because it's basically taking a snapshot of the real. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So speaking of studios, Brotherhood of the Snake is out in October this year.
Yeah.
And it's the first album with Steve since The Gathering. Is it like a continuation of Dark Roots and Formation, or can we expect a bit of Testament twisting in there, some new stuff to shake it up?
It's definitely got some twists in it, definitely. It's hard to pinpoint. I mean, it's kind of like a full circle of everything. It's got, I would say, like New Order, kind of style of writing with The Gathering meets Dark Roots. So it's kind of got, I think we kind of know what not to do and what to do. The only thing I would say, unfortunately, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but is the time we're so booked that we really didn't have time as a band to really focus in and jam on these songs. I kind of wrote everything, and everything happened at the last minute. I mean, to me, I like them because I wrote everything, but it's good to get outside opinions and you go, yeah, maybe I should do that. We had some of that stuff going on. I mean, we're still kind of editing stuff as we're going along right now, but it was written really, really, really quick, and we were kind of, I don't want to say forced, but it was kind of written so we could make ends meet on certain tours to make everything happen. And if we didn't record when we recorded in April and May, the only window that would be open would be September. So if we did September, and then we have some shows, September, October, there's shows in October. I mean, we would be looking at the record coming out next summer. And I mean, everybody could be like, nah, but it would be killer. But you know, are we all going to be here still? So it's like, look, it's good. Let's make it happen, and we made it happen. So it's funny what you can do under pressure. You know, deadlines.
Do you work better under pressure or not so much?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
different ways of working in both.
Yeah, pressure helps because it kind of kicks you in the ass a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes you. Some people you make wrong decisions because you're like, just fuck it, you know, yeah. But for the most part, for me, I'm pretty much a stickler, and I'm super, super picky.
Yeah. So if you had more time, you would just keep writing and changing stuff forever.
Yeah.
And ever.
You know, I mean, the good thing is there's another 5 songs that I didn't get to put down because we didn't have time. So I'm a little bit ahead of the game for the next one, so that's good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a bit of a looking back question again, tying in with what we're saying. So where some of the bands took a commercial route in the 90s, you guys went heavier. You kind of went in the opposite direction. A smirk on his face. It's true. So you guys went sort of like the heavier way, different direction with Demonic and Gathering. How do you think that has contributed to your legacy?
Well, you know, there was a lot of, I would say after the Ritual, which is early 90s, you know, certain band members and maybe even band members' girlfriends, there was this whole thing of Testament's done, you know, it's a sinking ship. I remember some of the things people were saying, and I even remember when Low came out, you know, Kerrang gave us 1 star out of 5, and we were just like, what? Well, you gotta remember, and that's when metal was a bad word. I mean, Nirvana, there's all these different types of music that's coming out, and metal was kind of like you know, was a bad word. The label had asked us can we do something alternative? So,
you got my email?
Well, there's a different thing about being alternative, because alternative means be different.
Yeah.
So, but they were thinking, can you be like these new bands?
Yeah.
And I was like, we can be alternative, definitely. And I took it as being different. So we went the other way, and it kind of excluded us from being Testament, known as maybe Return to Serenity, the newer style of being more rock, and it kind of secured our audience that's heavy and people that actually go to shows. We are now seeing all our shows being sold out, smaller clubs, but we rebuilt our foundation. And from there, we had a strong foundation, and we were able to build ourselves up again, rather than relying on getting on the Iron Maiden tour or getting on this tour. But then we ever did shows on our own, 100, 200 people would show up. And it's because the fans were like, you know, good for you, you're doing ballads, and, you know, good for you, you're on the radio, but, you know, I don't really like what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
And so when you went in that direction and that wasn't what your label was wanting, did that cause a lot of problems?
I wouldn't say it wasn't what Well, at that point, we had left Atlantic and we started our own company, Burn Offerings, and we were with now a label that was known for heavy music. So, and we were learning now that we don't have to sign a record deal for 20 years and we learned about like, you know, we'll give you the record and you can have the rights to it for 5 years, and then the rights revert back to us, lowering the cost of everything. But thinking about it, going, you know what, at the end of the day, we never got paid. We made all this money before, but all these other people got paid. And that's when technology was changing, like ADATs, you know, a lot of our studios, it didn't cost you $40,000 to $50,000, $100,000 to make a record anymore. You can make a record for $5,000 to $10,000 now because of the VHS tape. Yeah. And then of course Pro Tools came along, which is was more of an editing kind of tool, but it made things a lot quicker because you could do things and cut. Back in the day, for us to change something, they'd have to get the tape out, cut it, you know, tape it on the wall, and there's all these strips of tape everywhere. It was crazy. I mean, you know, it's like, wait, and then they'd have to put it back in a thing, tape it together, and that was an art in itself. Or now you can just point, click, shuffle, you know, boom, done.
Yeah, because time is money essentially when you're recording, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, and it gets frustrating when you're waiting. You have to re-roll the tape and just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Especially when you're getting into the psyche of recording and then you're having to stop and wait for things. I imagine that can be quite frustrating as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Looking at your own project a little bit, what's happening in the realm of Dragonlord at the moment?
That's another thing that's taken forever. Actually, I am 2 songs away from being done. I have to sing 2 songs. And the reason why I'm taking so long is because I would have put it out maybe a year or 2 years ago. That sounds crazy. I signed the deal in 2012, and they knew it was going to take a little bit more time because of my schedule, but there's one point where they were like, look, you know, just maybe give us some money back, and when you're ready, and I'm like, look, it's, because they didn't believe me that I had done it, and I'm like, look, so I sent them some songs that were done, and they wrote back, they go, take all the time you want. So that was like, okay, cool, they like it. And to me, it's one of the best things I've ever done. So I'm super, super proud of it. I can't wait for people to hear it. It's gonna be delivered to the company in September. I was trying to get it out this year, but they're gonna put it out first quarter next year. And it's really cool. It's the first time too I've ever, and not forced, but it's the first time that for I think the black metal genre, I'm doing I don't want to call it a ballad, but it's a slow, darker song, more something like that would be off of Heaven and Hell, like what song is it? Third track, I forgot the song. Anyway, I did a duet with the artist Leah. She's more like she's like a Celtic singer.
Yeah.
And I've done some vocal stuff on one of her records. We did a Christmas thing. It's called Winter Sun. It's kind of, you can see it. That was another story. That was pretty cool. But before that, I flew her out to the Bay Area, and I flew her out just to do, instead of all the keyboard stuff, the ahs, the choir stuff, I had her redo everything. She did like 30 tracks, just so it sounds like a real choir.
Wow.
And it was just mind-blowing. And then while we were there, we kind of wrote this song together, and it's called Love of the Dam. It's about a girl who falls in love with the devil, and it's kind of crazy stuff, but it's a duet, and it came out, it's fucking pretty amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. If there was a video for it, yeah, I'd probably need a lot of money
to do it justice.
To do it justice, yeah.
Have you got a title for the new?
Dominion.
Yeah.
Dominion. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So when that comes out, you can chill a wee bit, or are you still?
I'll probably do some shows for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tricky, I think.
Fitting everything in.
Yeah, because Testament's so busy now. We're kind of like on a whole new swing. So, but that's why I'm kind of waiting. I want to make sure. And I told the label, I go, look, I can hurry it. We can put it out. I go, but it's going to come out, and there's so many records coming out. The lifespan's going to be 1-2 months. It's going to trickle off, and then it's going to be who cares.
Yeah.
Or we do it a little bit, take our time. What you guys have already waited an extra 2 years. What's 4 more months? They're like true. And I go, we've heard 2 songs. Can you send us, And I go, do you want to hear the duet ballad? Yes, please. They're like, fuck. That's what they said. Fuck. Just played it for everybody here. I'm also, what are the priorities at the label? They're like Dragonlord. And I'm like, wow.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. And that's, musically I understand, but I'm just hoping that I can get some time to actually do a proper tour and stuff with it.
Because it's your baby, isn't it? So it's like,
yeah.
Makes sense. So you guys are coming back to the UK later this year with Amon Amarth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any surprises planned that you can tell us about?
Surprises. I don't know. That will show up.
And you'll play very well, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a great tour. Opening up for a band that's new like that. Of course, we had to put our egos aside. Here's a band that's we influenced. And,
it's a weird lineup in a way.
But it's cool because they're doing really well, and they've been around a while, and just what they're about and the people that they are is cool. We've met them before. They're awesome. I want to say kids, but now they're older now. When I met them, they were kids. So, it's just us having a new record out for that tour is perfect timing. I mean, they're playing. I was looking at the list. There's anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 seaters all through Europe. And for us to have a new record and hitting like that, and then coming out in my favorite time of the seasons,
Hitting the ground running, so to speak, basically.
Yeah, that's killer. So.